Do you want to play a game that has absolutely zero combat and is mainly focused on resource management and a little bit of puzzle solving? How about going on an adventure to solve a massive problem for a tiny town? Journey into the wilderness to bring back goodies and even some stranded travelers. And do what you can to best the evil fog that is taking people away from their homes. Into the Emberlands has you becoming the savior of a small town that has been encased in a massive amount of fog. And you, armed with only a lantern filled with ember flames and a heart ready to accomplish your missions, explore the vast, ever-changing layouts of the wilderness around you. Now, the town you start out on is quite small, and the amount of ember flames you have in your lantern is also quite small. You have 30 to start with, and that means that when you divide up all of the land into their own tiles, you can only go about 15 squares out, and then you have to return, or else you yourself become lost in this evil fog. Now, the area around you will be filled with stuff like trees and rocks and some forest creatures. Now, some of these trees and rocks can block your path, so you will also be able to find different types of axes around the world, and you can expand your path and go places that have been blocked off. Now, those forest creatures will also be very crucial to your run, as they can help you get more resources and even expand the inventories that you already have. The most important thing will be that you can actually pick up more ember flame around the world, so you can slightly expand your path per journey. And also, like I mentioned earlier, there are villagers that have been stranded in this fog, and they have little campfires to keep them safe for the time being. Now, if you pick up any of these little guys, you actually get 10 ember flame. Now, what do you do if you already have your maximum, say, 30 ember flame, and you want a little bit more? Because, let's be honest, 15 paces is not that much, and the world is quite huge with multiple biomes to explore. Well, you start on your journey of collecting wood to give to a woodland creature, and every 8 wood, you get a gem. Then you trade a gem for more ember flame space. Now, there are 3 types of bird creatures. One is orange, one is yellow, and one is a lovely pinkish translucent color. I like that one a lot. And each of them will give you a different type of inventory upgrade. One will give you more space in your just overall inventory to hold on your adventures. One will give you more space on your token ring for coins. And one will give you a higher maximum amount of ember flame you can carry in your lantern. Now, of course, I always went for the maximum ember flame increase first because I could explore more. But once you hit the maximum you could go, or it starts becoming more resource intense to get those upgrades, I did start to do the other 2 more because they are more helpful than you would think the further on into your run you get. So the overall gameplay loop is your town is very tiny and it is encased in fog. And you have a list of missions from gathering wood, getting villagers, and random stuff like that. And once you complete all of your, say, 5 missions that you've been given, your town will get an upgrade. It will expand, and the repairs that you have given the materials for will undergo, and your town just slowly expands. And that is honestly one of the most satisfying parts. Now, the more you upgrade the town, the more it will reward you. So those axes that I mentioned earlier for cutting down the trees and the rocks, blocking your path, will actually be given right from the start. And the further you go, the better quality these tools become. And you also can unlock, say, a shop to buy more as you please. You can also do stuff like help the chicken farmer, and then the chicken will give you gifts at the start of each run. Now, what happens if you have a bunch of stuff, you've gotten all these upgrades, and you accidentally miscalculate and become lost in the fog yourself? Well, that is technically a restart, but not all the way. Don't worry. You get to keep all of your completed missions. Those save, you don't have to restart those. But any materials that you happen to be carrying in your on-person inventory will be lost. The good news is, if you have anything that was left on the grounds of the village, that's saved, those stay there. Now, the worst part is some of your inventory that you've expanded will decrease. Luckily, if you have, say, 100 flames now, it's not going to drop back down all the way to 30, but you might hit about 80, and each hit you take will reduce it more. So do be very careful. I myself have done way too many attempts to where I thought I would be good by 1 or have the exact amount to go, and 1 bad move on my little guy's journey back, and I got lost in the fog right on the edge of the village. And it is very painful to watch. So do be careful just to avoid as much going missing in the fog as you can, but it's not going to ruin your life. And each time you restart by getting lost in the fog or get an upgrade to your village, the area around you is generated again, so you're not going to lose any resources the further you go. You'll be able to replenish all the stuff that you've lost pretty quickly. Now, the further you get into your missions, the further out you're going to have to travel. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, there is multiple biomes, the first being the wilderness that you become pretty familiar with pretty early on. Now, there is also what I have dubbed the scientific area, this white-purple combination that has multiple scientists around and a bunch of flowers. This is the next area that you will progress through. There's also a swamp area, and this is fun because you can also, in addition to, this area is good because it has little creatures that you can actually exchange items with and get more crystal space. Now, the crystals are used for a lot. They're the main way to upgrade stuff like your inventory and your flames, and it's just a very important thing to have later on, especially when some missions will have you getting a lot. So my main tip is, if you can afford to upgrade any inventory, go for it, because it will be better in the long run. And finally, there is also a desert area, which I didn't have a lot of exploration in. It's very interesting though. Now, each of these different biomes has a completely unique set of materials to find in them, and this is where it starts to get a little bit challenging because you're going to be pretty far out of your way and really far away from your home base. But the good thing is there are different subway stations that you can unlock, and it's pretty minimal cost. Some coins and a gem crystal, and you're on your way. Now, one thing to watch out for is you have a home base subway station and multiple out in the world. If you are using your home base subway station to go back to where you were in the wilderness, and you've used, say, 2 or 3 subway stations, you will only be able to go to the last active one you've used. Any previous ones, you don't have to repay to use, but you would have to go and basically reactivate it to be the current station in use. Now, the further you get into the game, the more complex the missions will be, and a lot of the times it will have you going out and having to do a lot of trading and exchanging in order to get the materials that you need for the later upgrades. Now, this can also include a lot of random kind of luck-based stuff, such as making sure that you find the right person to do the trade with, or even just something as simple as maybe you find a subway station that's kind of close to some material that you need to grind out. The best part about this game is that there is 0 combat to try and stall you. And also there's no time limit, so you can actually take as long as you need. If you want to spend the first 2 hours of your day grinding out more materials and just trying to get the max level of all of your inventory, you can do that and you won't be punished. This is a completely relaxation-focused game with very minimal thinking actually to be done, and I really enjoyed it. That actually made it my go-to game for evening play, and I would spend way more time than I actually thought I was playing this before I should have been in bed. Now, I will say, the beginning, having such minimal inventory and space to explore, it started out quite slow. And I honestly wasn't sure what I was doing, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like the game. But once you understand what you're doing, and hopefully I explained some of that in the video decently, you begin to really get addicted to it, and it is so easy to go into the, well, I just can do one more mission, I can get one more upgrade, one more run. And I fell into that trap very hard, very quickly once I got an understanding of the game. This entire world being able to reset and regenerate itself, make sure that no run feels the same. Some layouts are a lot more forgiving than others, and overall it just has just enough thinking involved to make it the perfect game to just get lost in The art style is so amazing, and the amount of achievements that you can get is really fun. And one of the cool things is each time you get lost in the fog and you reset your run, you actually can kind of customize your little guy. And that involves you can change the appearance and get a little pet buddy. And those are unlocked with how far you progress in the areas that you dive into in the game. I really enjoyed it, and I think the level of difficulty that it scales with is basically perfect. I felt really natural in the progression that it would have me go to. I could kind of see in my head where it was going to be going to with what the progression was for the area that I would be in for the most part, and how many resources I would have to spend to upgrade machines in that set area to get the materials that I needed, because some of them you will have to go and upgrade machines to make sure that you can get the most advanced material. Say you need to get scissors and cut down a plant for some of the material you need. That is not something that the machine just happens to do. You need to actually spend some of your resources and upgrade that machine and get the scissors and go and get your product. But that also makes it hard because there was a lot of times where I would do that and then I would go do some exploration, come back, and completely lose where that machine that I had upgraded was located. So it's a lot, but it's incredibly fun and I really enjoyed it. I was actually kind of sad when it ended, but I think that the length of time that it gives you, the amount of levels and the space of the town and all the stuff the town gives you, I think it's pretty much perfect. The game does not overstay its welcome, and if it had DLC to give me some more time with it, I would definitely purchase it. So I actually highly recommend this game to anybody who wants a nice, relaxing game with zero combat. It is primarily a resource management game, and it just is the perfect game. I kind of want to try it on Steam Deck. I played all of my hours on my PC here at my desk, and I really want to do another run, actually. But that is all I can say about this game. I think I've covered all of the stuff about it. I adored this game. It might be one of my favorite indie games that I have reviewed for 2025 that was released in 2025, and I will be paying attention to the devs for this because I kind of want to see if they do anything after this. I'm very invested now. So let's do question of the week because I've been slacking on that. What is your favorite resource management video game? And with that, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below with your answer to the question of the week. And also, did this review sway you to maybe getting or at least wishlisting into the Emberlands? Did I answer any questions that you might have had after looking at the Steam page or maybe seeing some gameplay of it? If you have any questions about the game, do let me know. I can hopefully answer all of them that you have. But I think that basically covers my general review of the game. I really enjoyed it. I actually would give this a 10 out of 10 if I did ratings like that. But my ratings are the demographic that I think would enjoy that, and that is anyone who likes relaxing resource management games, stuff with zero combat, stuff to put an hour or two in the evening before you go to bed. Any of those, if you fit into that category, this might be a great game for you to try out next. But that will be all for me for today. Give me a thumbs up if you thought I did a good job in this video. It keeps my videos on your For You page, and if you want to go the extra mile, give me a subscribe so you don't lose me in the sea of YouTube content. Thank you everyone who showed up. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope to see you again in a future one. Bye!